Maybe you're one of the many Gen Xers that wants to retire at age 62. However, you're not sure it's the right decision. Plus, taking Social Security at 62, the amount, it just looks so small compared to the cost of living for today. But you still just can't get those thoughts of retiring at 62 out of your head. So in this video, I am showing you an option that could make retiring at 62 a reality without locking in the early Social Security check, all by funding your life from age 62 to 65, on purpose. We can call it the 3-year Social Security bridge. Okay, the first point I want to cover is the mandatory calculation and how we define that bridge fund. And the goal is simple: to cover 36 months of essential living expenses without claiming Social Security and without touching your tax-deferred retirement accounts such as 401k or your IRAs. And this isn't your full-time retirement budget. This is just some numbers that can launch you into retirement at 62. Now, even though full retirement age for Gen Xers is 67, in this video, I've chosen 65 to claim. Why? Because to me, age 65, it's a strategic middle ground. It's higher benefits than age 62. Medicare begins at 65. And there's no need to grind away until you're 67. So let's talk about how to plan your strategy to escape at 62. The first step is to define your monthly need. Start with essentials only here. We're talking housing and utilities and insurance, food, transportation. And for this example, let's just use a lean but realistic number. Let's say you need $3,000 a month to cover those essential living expenses, and possibly a little more. Some they can get by on less, some that's probably nowhere near enough. But that's what we're going to go with in this video, $3,000 a month from age 62 to 65. Now, step 2 is to calculate the bridge fund. So for 36 months times 3,000, we're looking at a total of $108,000. That $108,000 is your non-negotiable bridge fund. And this is money that's not invested for growth. It's accessible, and it has one job: to buy you time. And this is the point in the video where many of you will say, "Sherry, I don't have $108,000 just laying around that isn't already invested in my 401k. And the hard truth is that if you don't have that $108,000 available, your choices are to claim Social Security at 62 with the reduced rate, or continuing to work longer than you want to. But we're not out of time or options yet. And ask yourself, and I mean really ask yourself, with discipline, with cutting back, with working harder, could you get a little closer to that number? And just remember, these aren't bucket list years. Now, if you really want to bag work at age 62 and you don't have a $500,000 in your retirement accounts, these 3 years that I'm talking about, they're not for traveling the world. They're your transition years. Use them for decompression, rest, and less hectic days. No alarm clock, no grind, no rush. Now, let's talk about some of those funding options. Okay, the second point is your bridge fund arsenal, where that money actually comes from. Let's first talk about where we don't want the money to come from. We want our tax-deferred accounts, our 401ks, a little more time to grow. And we don't want to unnecessarily overinflate our income during these transition years by withdrawing money from tax-deferred accounts. Because doing that could do three things. One, those withdrawals will show up as income and they'll increase your taxes. Two, it can increase your ACA premiums, which is probably the health insurance you'll use during this bridge. And three, later, it can trigger higher Medicare costs with IRMA surcharges. Now, here's where the bridge money should come from. First source would be a cash account, a savings account, even a taxable brokerage account. This would be the cleanest source. No tax triggers except for interest or, gains. And only the interest or the gains earned, only that counts as income, not the full withdrawal, which gives you a lot more control than IRA withdrawals. And the best advantage is that it's easily liquefied. And if you've got a few years ahead of age 62, then start building this fund now. Now, a secondary source could be your Roth IRA account. Now, often it's better to delay withdrawing from your Roth and just continuing to let it grow as long as possible because everything in there is tax-free. But there's nothing wrong with using your Roth IRA as a bridge in this instance. As long as your Roth has been open at least 5 years, you can access all of those contributions freely and tax-free. Withdrawals won't show up as income, so there's no fear of losing your ACA subsidies. When I say ACA, I'm referring to, healthcare plans. And there's no fear of getting hit with a IRMA Medicare surcharge with Roth IRA withdrawals. So for many people, a Roth IRA can fund a large portion of this gap. Another source could be downsizing or geographic arbitrage. This could be the highest impact move on the board. Selling a higher cost home and downsizing, it means lower ongoing expenses, it reduces stress, and it instantly creates an accessible stash of money that you can live off of. In some instances, one housing decision could fund the entire 3-year bridge just in one single move. Other sources, other bridge boosters could be an inheritance or a lump sum of cash. If you receive an inheritance or a settlement or a family gift in cash, this can be an ideal source. Used intentionally, it can get you to that later Social Security claiming age. And also, there's always limited part-time work. I'm not talking about getting another career or giving up all your freedom and all your flexibility. But if you could just even earn $1,000 a month for those 3 years, that reduces the bridge by $36,000. A $108,000 fund instantly becomes $72,000. Another way to source this money could be housing offsets. Taking in a roommate, renting out a room, or sharing your space temporarily. That can easily offset $500 to $1,000 a month. That's another $18,000 to $36,000 over the course of 3 years that you don't have to pull from your savings. And again, these are bridge years, not forever years. This is not how I'm saying you have to live the rest of your life. Just knowing that this could just be for a few short years, to me, it makes it even more achievable. And as we've gone through these options, I want you to notice the patterns. Every option here does one of three things. It uses existing cash or assets, or it reduces the size of the bridge, or both. Nothing here relies on market returns. Nothing here creates permanent obligations. I haven't added anything here that adds risk or stress or permanence. Now, point number 3, the payoff, and why age 65 is a smart claiming point. Now, claiming Social Security at age 62 usually results in an amount that's 30% lower than your full retirement age amount. Now, age 65, I already mentioned, is a strategic middle ground. Much higher benefits than age 62 without forcing you to wait until 67. It increases your monthly benefit for life. It also increases your survivor benefit that's tied to your record, if that applies to your situation. You're not chasing the maximum possible benefit that you would get at age 70. We don't have to work until we're totally burned out, totally worn out. Doing whatever it is that you want to do. That $108,000 bridge fund, it will buy you 3 years of freedom. It produces a permanently higher inflation-adjusted Social Security check for the rest of your life, and it protects your retirement accounts from early withdrawals. You're converting that 6-figure cash reserve into a larger guaranteed stream of income for life. Now, what all do you get by using this bridge fund? For one, your 401k, it stays untouched. It continues to grow and compound even though you're not contributing to it any after age 62. Also, you're not forced to sell investments in a down market. Also, you reduce the fear of the sequence of returns risk during those early dangerous years. You won't trigger any IRA penalties. You won't put yourself in a higher tax bracket. And you don't inflate your ACA premiums. Now let's look at it this way. The $108,000 bridge fund, it's not an expense. It's the purchase price for a higher Social Security check and 3 years of your life back. Stopping work, it doesn't require you to start claiming Social Security early. We're Gen X, and this is our retirement. And nobody is telling us how we have to do it. And I don't think it's too far-fetched. Do you? Just let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're building a Gen X posse here, and I would love for you to be a part of that. Now, I know this video today, it had a lot of math, so check out this video next. It's a light-hearted take on what the ideal retirement home would look like for Gen Xers. For when we're like 92 or something. I've linked it right here. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.